Square root 72, what can we break it down into? Yeah. Okay, so square root 72 plus square root 18. We can break square root 72 into 36 and 2. The 36 comes out and it's a 6. So we get equal signs down the left. 6 root 2. 18 can break down into 9 and 2. The 9 comes out and it's a 3. So I get 3 root 2. Then what can I do? Because they're both the same radicands, I can put them together. And so what do I get? 9 root 2, which is A. Number 2, we have 3 root x times 4 root x. 3 times 4 is 12. Root x times root x is x in brackets. Remember when you multiply the same thing? So it's just 12x. This one, the area of the shaded region. So we need to be able to do width times length. Problem is we don't have the length, but we do have the whole way across and then this little piece here. So we have to subtract them, correct? So we're going to go 3 root 5 minus root 10 minus another root 10. So you subtract this off of the whole length of the side to get L. So then we're going to get 3 root 5, and then negative root 10 minus root 10 is negative 2 root 10. And then we want the area, correct? So area is length times width. So we're going to go 3 root 5 minus 2 root 10, and that's multiplied by 2 root 5. So 2 root 5 times 3 root 5 is 2 times 3, which is 6. And root 5 times root 5 is 5 in brackets. Remember when you multiply two of the same together, you get that number in brackets? And then 2 root 5 minus times negative 2 root 10 is negative 4 root 50. And root 50 I can reduce. So I get 30 minus 4 root 50 is 25 times 2. Take the 25 out, it becomes a 5. So I get 30 minus 20 root 2, which is C. Now, when written as a mixed radical, this equals. Mixed radical means reduced radical. Entire radical means everything's underneath the radical, right? Mixed radical means you reduce the radical. So I take root 54 and I can break it down into 9 and 6. The 9 comes out and it's a 3. And I get negative 9 root 6, which is D. Then we flip over. All right, number 5. So here we have the following problem involves the subtraction of radicals. So if we have a minus sign, we actually have to make sure that we distribute the minus sign through. So we're going to get root 50 minus root 18 minus root 12. Root 50 breaks down into 25 and 2. Root 18 breaks down into 9 and 2. And then root 12 breaks into 4 and 3. 25 comes out and it's a 5. 9 comes out and it's a 3. 4 comes out and it's a 2. So I'm going to get 5 root 2 minus 3 root 2 minus 2 root 3. 5 root 2 minus 3 root 2 is 2 root 2 minus 2 root 3. Would be how I would do it. So what's our problem here? What did they not do with this minus sign? They didn't distribute it. So is the error here, or is this still right and this is wrong? Second one. If the error falls between 1 and 2, if you say the error is between 1 and 2, then the error is actually in 2. It's always the further one. Step 1 was fine. This one here, we have a rectangular room, measures 2 meters by 6 meters. In one corner of the room, there is a door, and in the furthest opposite corner, a thermostat. Which of the following most closely represents the shortest walking distance between? So they're just asking you to find the hypotenuse, technically, right? So we're going to do h squared equals 2 squared plus 6 squared. H squared equals 4 plus 36. H squared equals 40. When I take the square root, I get plus or minus. However, it's a distance, so it has to be positive. And root 40 breaks down into 4 times 10. 4 comes out, it's a 2. So h equals 2 root 10. This one, we have that minus sign. The minus 1 needs to distribute through. So we're going to get root 12 minus 2 root 27 minus 2 root 75. 12 can break down into 4 and 3. The 4 comes out and becomes a 2. 27 breaks down into 9 and 3. The 9 comes out and it's a 3. 75 breaks down into 25 and 3. The 25 comes out, it's a 5. So I'm going to get 2 root 3 minus 6. There's a floating fuzzy somewhere else. 6 root 3 minus 10 root 3. What's 2 minus 6 minus 10? Negative 14. Root 3. Here it says the student is asked to rationalize the denominator in this expression. So we have 3 over root 5 minus 1. Remember I told you when it's a monomial, you just multiply by what the radical is, correct? But if it's a binomial, you multiply by the conjugate. So the exact same with opposite sign. So root 5 minus 1, root 5 plus 1 is what we're going to multiply by. It's conjugate. And the reason why is when you multiply by the conjugate, the middle terms cancel, which are the ones with the radicals. So on the top, I get 3 root 5, equal sign along the left, 3 root 5 plus 3 over root 5 times root 5 is 5 plus 1 root 5, so root 5, minus 1 root 5. They cancel, so we know we did it right. And then negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. So we get 3 root 5 plus 3 all over 4. And they want the value of k. So what's k? 4. This they want is an entire radical. Entire radicals, you just have 2 square root 7. So remember I told you to put the index. You raise these to the power of the index and bring them inside. So I'm going to get the square root of 2 squared, which is 4, times 7. So it's root 28. Give you the next probably 10 minutes to get as far as you can. Through the rest, and we'll go through a bit more, and then we're going to do cosine law. So, if we don't have a side angle pair, we have to use cosine law. So there's 2 options where this can happen, correct? Yesterday's was when we had SAS. So what did that mean? That meant we had a side, the angle in between, and another side, correct? When we had that, we literally could not have a side angle pair. We agree? We also don't have 2 angles, so we can't find a third. Now the problem comes in for you guys is that if we don't have the third side, we have to find it first, right? That's the first thing we always have to find, even if they ask for an angle. So when you have SAS, the first thing you have to do, you're going to do a squared equals b squared. Well, in this case, it wouldn't be that. It would be b squared. Oh, gosh, it's doing this again. So in this case, it would be b squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2ac cos b. And then we would square root it. And then we would find b first. So you have to find third side. So you have one where it's asked, where's the other case that could happen that would cause you to not have a angle and a side corresponding? Yeah.
If you're given two angles on one side.
That's if you're given two angles on one side, you can find the third angle and use sine law. What do you think the other one is? People forget about it because they want to think angles. The other one is there's absolutely no angles. You know all three sides. Okay? So it's when side, side, side. I'm going to pull one from the textbook because you know what happened yesterday when I made one up on my head. It did not go well. Okay. So we're going to do this one. This isn't really drawn to scale. I'm going to draw it better so it's more drawn to scale. If you drew it already, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to draw it like this. This is L, this is N, this is M. This is 10.4 centimeters. This is 21.9 centimeters. This is 18 centimeters. I'm going to ask you to find angle L. Determine angle L. So grab out your formula sheet so you can see where it is on there. Take out your formula sheets real quick. So if you look at the formula sheet, on the top is arithmetic and the bottom is geometric, and then here's trigonometry, and then here's quadratics, and then here I didn't put sine and cosine law. So it's not on here. So what we're going to do... Big fat liar. Wow, that went vicious. They not only become a liar, they become fat. Rude.
I did not.
All right. So if we have SSS side, 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 and we're looking for angle L. Wow. We're looking for angle L. We're going to go cos, capital L, and then what do we add? The two sides that don't match it, correct? So what are our other sides? M and N. So we're going to go M squared plus N squared minus L squared over 2MN. So you put the two sides that don't match first and on the bottom, and then you subtract the side that does match. Now we know we're going to be looking for an angle, so in the end, what are we going to have to do? Inverse cosec. So we go cos neg 1, cos neg 1, but the whole thing. That's what we're going to end up having to do. So let's label the triangle. I have the angles labeled. I can label the sides now because they just are across from it, right? So if this is angle M, this is side M. If this is angle N, this is side N. If this is angle L, this is side L. And then we can just fill it in. So we get L, capital L equals cosine 1. On the top we have 10.4 squared in brackets plus N, which is 21.9 squared in brackets, minus L, which is 18 squared in brackets, all over 2 times M, which is 10.4, times N, which is 21.9. Every single person is going to try to get the answer in their calculator. Pay attention. So we're going to go mode. We're going to make sure we're in degrees. Okay, if you have the new calculators, follow along. If you have the old calculators, I'll show you what I would do after. So if you have the new calculators, you're going to go second, cos, and then you're going to go alpha, y equals, enter, and you're going to type it in exactly the same as the page. So if you're messing up, it means you're not typing it in exactly the same. I don't remember what the numbers are. Okay, so it would be 10.4 squared in brackets plus 21.9 squared in brackets minus 18 squared in brackets, and then I would arrow down. So I'm typing in exactly the way it looks. 10 bracket 10.4 bracket, oops, close it, open it, 21.9. So you get 54.616. It looks exactly the same if you have the brand new calculators. If you have the old calculators, this is the way I would do it. I would do the top in brackets. So I would go bracket and then bracket. So I would literally just add an extra. So if you have cos neg 1 over here, I would go do that last. I would go bracket and then do 10.4 squared plus 21.9 squared minus 18 squared, close bracket, because that's how it knows that it's actually the top, the numerator. Then I would go division, and then I would put brackets around the denominator as well. See what I'm saying? So full brackets around numerator, full brackets around denominator. So I would go 10.4, check, because you might be missing a bracket. And then plus 21.9 squared minus 18 squared, close bracket on my numerator, divided by open bracket on my denominator, 2, and then bracket 10.4, bracket 8 to 21.9, close bracket, enter, and that gets me my decimal, and then I go second, cos, second, answer. And I get the same answer, 54.616. So if you're using the old calculators, top has to be in brackets, bottom has to be in brackets, numerator in brackets, denominator in brackets. That's the only way your calculator knows that it is a fraction. Not working?
Right off error domain.
Can you do the fraction thing again?
I love how you listen. So go second cos,
Missed it.
second cos, alpha, y equals,
Oh, that was like
enter.
Oh,
I've never done it.
Shocking, it's only like I've never explained it 20. Don't do the cos first. It's cos in the top.
don't do code.
No, no, no. Do you see, I said when I would put it in, I wouldn't put the cos in. I would just put it in. And then second cos, second answer it. Because it's going to cos just the top of yours, Ted. It's going
It's
to,
always giving me errors.
yeah, it's fighting you.
So do the top and then do the
Bottom. So what I did is I literally typed the top in brackets. I go bracket. And then I go bracket 10.4 squared plus bracket 21.9. Guys, quiet please, squared minus 18 squared. Then I close the bracket because that's the full top. Then divided by open bracket to bottom. 2 bracket 10.4 close bracket open bracket 21.9 close bracket, and then close it again. Close the denominator, correct? Enter. Then I get a decimal, and then I go second, cos, second, answer, enter. And I get 54. See, I cos at the end.
Okay.
I don't actually add the cos until the very end.
I got 341.
This is going so well. Okay, type in as I speak. Ready?
I love.
Bracket.
Yeah.
10.0.
That, you were trying to mock my voice there. Bracket. Okay. 54.616 degrees. Now, if I want you to solve any more of this, no, it's like a whole 12 minutes. Nick, you have to. Okay, if I want you to solve the rest of the triangle now, would you have to use cosine law? No, the moment you use cosine law, you now have side angle pair, and you can sine law the whole thing. Okay? So the hardest part of this is literally typing it into your calculator. I'm not joking.
You're not
It was
wrong.
pretty difficult.
Okay.
It actually was. I think I had to do like 3 tries.
Page 119,
No.
number 2. Girl, please.
I'm like paper back.
2 ACD.
You already said you had homework.
Yeah.
I
3B.
set up class time to finish it. For
Yeah, sorry, we don't know.
Bruh.
elitist.